How's it going today, guys? Today I'm going to talk a little bit about not taking yourself so seriously. This is something that I kind of struggle with in my own daily experience because I tend to evaluate every day as an opportunity to take it the most seriously and the most vivaciously. With that in mind, you do have to understand that there can't be 100% seriousness all the time. You think that this would be an advantage because hence, the more serious you take life, the more benefits you reap out of it. And although there is some truth to this, you have to understand that there are variables at play that you really have no control over. First off, let me start with an example. I was at work the other day, and I was trying to make sure that I was living very seriously, very focused on where my goals in life are, what strategies that I would employ, and how I was going to conduct myself, not only that day, but for the next few years. These thoughts of strategies, ideas, plans, actions were all in my head that I had strategically scheduled all of it out. And then, what do you know? I got distracted by some pretty girl, and then that is what took over my thoughts for the next 20 minutes. So, how come I allowed that to happen? How come my fortitude or my strength for what I was working towards was easily distracted by something as a girl that you see multiple times a day anyway? Take this with some understanding that life will throw some little distractions out there that don't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You don't have to consider them a distraction in the sense of they're taking you away from your aspirations or goals. Just accept them for what they are, laugh at it in the moment, and appreciate the surprise. If you went through life with a scheduled, regimented plan, it would quite honestly get boring. Understand that there are some variability in life, and that is what makes it interesting. Another example. I was taking a bath the other day, and typically I use Epsom salts or whatever sort of bath salts I have at the time, and it actually makes the solution quite salty, and I was laying there relaxing, had some music or whatever going, and I was sitting there and I had started to fall asleep, and as I was drifting off, I drooped into the water and then got salty water all in my nose, and I was immediately rushed awake from my slumber, and I was thinking, oh, I'm so frustrated by that, and then I stopped for 10 seconds. I stopped and I just laughed. I just started laughing. And although this might have looked pretty crazy if anybody else was watching it, I just took a moment to appreciate how random and how funny life can be sometimes. This sort of structure that we think we want to go through, where everything is scheduled out and everything is predetermined, is something that we kind of let get ahead of ourselves. I was able to appreciate in that moment exactly what was happening. Although I had a mouth and nose full of salt water, I was still laughing because I was just glad that life was giving me these random distractions. I shouldn't let these moments be a hindrance to my development. I should just accept them and just allow them to happen, because those things are what make life interesting. I kind of compare this to playing video games. So since I played a fair amount of video games growing up and still do, I kind of noticed whenever I had cheat codes or access to everything, I immediately got bored with the game. Why is this? Granted, there is the point that, things that you don't really work for, you don't truly feel satisfied about receiving. But there's also the point that I want to stick to, which is that when you remove the element of surprise, when you remove the element of randomness or attainment, you remove any sort of gratifying experience that comes with it. This is essentially parallel to what happens in life. If you're not able to be given the randomness of events, you kind of get bored pretty quickly too. So whenever you're taking life too seriously and then something as distracting as a girl walks by, or for instance, you take a dip in your bath and end up swallowing a bunch of water, just take that as a moment to appreciate it. Don't get angry, don't get frustrated. Don't allow yourself to be consumed by the emotions of, I'm being distracted, therefore I'm not being productive. Don't allow that to happen. Enjoy life for what it is, all of the random variances and whatnot included. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please let me know if you guys have any comments or if you guys have any suggestions for future videos. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.